Well, welcome to the 700 Club. President Trump meets with NATO allies in Switzerland today. His threat to take Greenland from Denmark by force if necessary has shaken the alliance.
It's also sparked outrage in Denmark, one of America's closest NATO allies. Thousands took to the streets to protest a betrayal of a decades-long friendship. Chuck Holton reports from Copenhagen.
Thousands of Danes marched from Copenhagen City Hall to the U.S. Embassy, waving Greenlandic flags and chanting.
Greenland's not for sale! Greenland's not for sale! Greenland's not for sale! Greenland's not for sale!
For many Danes, the American rhetoric feels like a betrayal of decades of military partnership.
We've always been like strong allies with the U.S. Personally, I've always loved the U.S. and our military. They have been standing ready always. We were the only country to lose as many troops as the Americans in the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we support America full on every time.
About 10,000 people have showed up here outside the U.S. Embassy in Copenhagen for a shockingly well-behaved protest. It's pretty clear that the people here are not as much angry as they are just befuddled, because everybody keeps saying, we're supposed to be friends. And they just don't understand how all of a sudden they turned into the bad guy in the eyes of President Trump. The sense of disbelief is widespread among protesters.
Well, it's like surreal, you know. This is like, well, this is not even, happening because, well, I think that we've seen looked upon, the U.S. as a trusted partner. We have also tried, to be a trusted partner the other way. And he really believed in this mutual, collaboration. And then suddenly it's turned around. And I don't think it has even, sunk in yet, what is happening. But it just, I guess it shows that even your closest friends, you cannot even trust anymore.
Some warn the president's threats could have far-reaching consequences for NATO itself.
You cannot attack another country within NATO without, dissolving the whole situation in NATO, which is 80 years old after the Second World War.
As tensions mounted, a bipartisan U.S. congressional delegation arrived in Copenhagen to try to calm the situation.
I think I speak for every senator and House member here in that we deeply value NATO. This partnership has been absolutely critical to the United States' security and prosperity and success. Greenland is a part of Denmark. Denmark is our NATO ally. That should be the end of this discussion.
From Copenhagen, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.
I'm having trouble figuring out where the president is going with this. If you're claiming security, that somehow or other we need possession of Greenland in order to keep Russia and China out, well, the current treaty, which was made all the way back in World War II, allows us to have as many troops as we want in Greenland. So I don't understand why you would willingly offend an ally. Is it a negotiation tactic? Probably, but at the same time, in leadership, particularly in the volatile world we're living in right now, you need consistency of friendship and consistency, especially with your NATO allies. As we look at potential war in Iran, what's going to happen in Venezuela, what's going to happen in Ukraine, what's going to happen in Taiwan, all of these things counsel that we need a very strong alliance with NATO. So I hope the president pulls back, but if he starts to attack Greenland, well, then NATO is completely gone. In other news, one Iranian is calling the crackdown on protesters genocide under digital darkness. John Jessup has that story and more from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
Thanks, Gordon. With the uprising now in its third week, the Iranian regime's top police official issued an ultimatum for protesters to hand themselves in or face the full face of Sharia law. Tens of thousands of demonstrators have been swept up in a nationwide manhunt. Government forces are patrolling the streets, threatening to shoot anyone who comes outside. As the USS Abraham Lincoln Task Force heads to the region, Iran is threatening harsh retaliation if the United States strikes. In East Jerusalem, Israeli forces are tearing down the headquarters of the UN Relief and Works Agency, which is responsible for Palestinian refugees. In 2024, the Knesset banned UNRWA from operating on Israeli territory, citing evidence that the agency employees took part in the October 7th attacks. Well, the Indiana Hoosiers are celebrating their first college football championship today. The undefeated team, winning 16 games this season, beat the Miami Hurricanes 27-21 in the national championship last night. A pivotal moment came with 9 minutes left in the game. On a fourth down, Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza ran it up the middle and leapt into the end zone to give his team a 10-point lead. Mendoza is now a national champion and a Heisman Trophy winner. He's also a strong Catholic. 2 days before the game, he told reporters, quote, "I know God has gotten me to this point, and I owe him so much. I can't thank him enough, and I give him all the glory." Congratulations to Mendoza and the team. Gordon?
Definitely congratulations. It's one of the more thrilling championship games I've ever seen. And that touchdown run on fourth down, what a gutsy call by the coach, but what an incredibly gutsy play by the quarterback. And for him in one of the largest stages in sports to say both before and after the game, I give all glory to God. What an incredible testimony.